Hey guys, and welcome to Resilient Ratty. My name is Ratik Datta, and I'm currently pursuing my master's in marketing from Purdue University. But you already know that, assuming that you've been following this channel for a while, which is what the hope is. In case you're not, that's basically my cue to remind you to leave me one of these. It's completely, totally, absolutely free, like one of my favorite content creators on YouTube, Taylor Bell, says. And also make sure that you subscribe to this channel so that you don't miss out on any upcoming content, and switch on bell notifications so that you get a reminder every time a video is posted. This channel basically talks about my professional, academic, and personal experience. And the past few videos are focused a little bit more on a combination of my academic experiences and my personal experiences here at Purdue. So I thought of doing things a little differently this time and focusing solely and purely on my personal experiences. And today I'm going to be talking about my four unshakable principles. So before I get down to the specifics of what my unshakable principles are, I just personally think that it's very important for people to have certain principles that they always follow in life, because principles are sort of like a guiding light where when you're lost or you seem to not know what to do, it illuminates a path for you to understand what to go about doing. And I think it's very important to have your principles to go back to, especially during the most difficult of times, the most trying of times, because it's only when you're facing the most trying of times is when your principles are truly tested. So what I'm basically trying to say is that the importance of principles cannot be understated. I mean, you don't need to have a specific number in place, really. I just like to talk about four because I am someone who has a very strong moral code. That's what I'd like to believe, and hence I have a lot of principles. But I wanted to limit it to the four most important principles that I follow in life. And I hope you guys like this video. And if you like what you see, again, like I said, don't forget to leave me one of these. It's free. Before I get into the specifics of what the unshakable principles are, these principles are not in any specific order. They've just been, I'm just going to talk about them randomly. So it's not like the first principle that I talk about is more or less important than the consequent ones. Just wanted to point that out. These are four equally important principles in my life. And I think without further ado, let's get to it. First unshakable principle that I have in my life is to ensure that you never cheat on your partner. Infidelity is a huge no no in my book, and I feel like it's very important to ensure that you remain faithful and loyal to your partner. I do understand that we're human beings and sometimes feelings change, and even when you're in a relationship with a partner, you end up developing feelings for someone else. Those are the sort of things that can happen, but in case that is something that is happening, you have to make sure, you have to ensure that you break things off with your old partner before you start a new relationship, because it really isn't fair on your old partner to be experiencing the effect of being cheated on. It's something which can have a very long standing implication on the mentality of an individual, and it really cannot be understated, and it becomes your responsibility, your moral responsibility, to ensure that you're not cheating on anyone. Infidelity, like I said, is, it's one of the worst things that you can do to another human being. But I do, like I said, I do understand that it's possible for you to fall out of love with someone, develop feelings for someone else. I'm not saying that it always happens with individuals or that it's a very common thing, but what I'm trying to say is that it could potentially happen. And in case it does, you need to have the guts to talk to your partner and tell them, your former partner, and tell them that things are not working out and you probably don't feel about them the same way that you do, that you used to. It would be the best for the two of us to actually break things off to ensure that there are no more heartbreaks in the future. Having said that, I strongly do believe that it's very important to make sure that when you're in a relationship with someone, you don't really look at other people in a romantic or sexual sense. I think it's very important to not be doing that. But like I said, we're human beings. We are culpable to mistakes and it can happen. But in order to ensure that you don't exacerbate that mistake, it's very important to come clean. The second important principle that I have in my life is to make sure that I never compete with my friends. So this one is, I'm not trying to say that competition is bad. In fact, I think competition is healthy. Competition is very important. It helps bring out the best in you. We've seen that in sports. We've seen that in the Lionel Messi versus Cristiano Ronaldo rivalry, where the two players brought out the best in each other. And I personally do think that competition is, can be very beneficial for an individual, but I personally don't when I say that I don't want to compete with my friends, I'm talking about things which are actually important. So no, FIFA games are not included. I am pretty competitive when it comes to FIFA. But FIFA isn't something which is actually very important. Again, it's very also very important to ensure that I'm not misunderstood in the sense that, for example, if there is a job that you're applying for and your friend is applying for the same job, I'm not saying that it would be wrong for you to give your 100%. It would actually be unfair to your friend to not be giving 100% because your friend would want you to give your best just the way that he or she is. So I'm not trying to say that in such a scenario, I would look to withdraw my application for the job. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking more about situations where direct comparisons can be made. So, for example, if you're giving the GMAT, and I'm not the sort of person who likes to compete with my friends. So I don't really have it in me to want to get a higher score than my friend. I just all I want is to get my target score and not really compare with my friend. I think that's very critical for me and something which I hold very closely to my heart because friendships are very important for me and I wouldn't want something as trivial. Okay, when I say it's trivial in the grand scale of things, when I talk about friendships and the relationships that you forge over the course of your life, I think competition is very trivial, and I don't really think that it has a place when it comes to friendship. Third unshakable principle that I have is to ensure that I never resent someone who's better than me. So again, friends notwithstanding, because I don't compete with friends, I am sort of person who is very self motivated. I do like to compete. I've always strived to be the best in my field. That's what really motivates me. That's what gets me up in the morning. But having said that, a very important thing that I've learned in life, I mean, life has just taught me that even if I don't end up coming first, even if I don't end up being the best, it's very important to ensure that you don't resent the person who has beaten you to it. It's very important to respect and admire the person who's beaten you. Ensure that you clap for them as loudly as you would expect everyone else to clap for you if you were the best. And it's very, I think it's good sportsmanship. I'm someone who likes sports quite a bit, and I just think that it's basic courtesy and sportsmanship to congratulate someone who's done better than you because you know the kind of effort that you've done to make sure that you get where you have gotten. And if someone has beaten you, it obviously means that they've put in effort as well, and that deserves to be admired and respected, in my opinion. So, the last unshakable principle that I have to talk about is to make sure that I never intentionally take anyone's credit. And this is again a very important principle, something very close to my heart because I've always believed that people should get credit where credit is due. If someone has put in the work to do something, the person deserves all the credit and all the praise in the world possible. And I think it's very unfair when someone else steps in and takes that credit. And I think it's very demotivating for an individual who's probably worked really, really hard to get that work done to see someone else take their credit, and they're probably not going to be putting in that kind of hard work again. So if you're working and you have delegates and you are actually taking credit away from their work, know that the overall productivity of your team is definitely going to decrease, and that's not going to be good for you in the long run. If you're going to be thinking short term, then you're going to be thinking about how you can take someone else's credit away and feel good about it, but in the long run it's really going to hurt you. And I think it's very important to be discussing and talking about that because if you're if you're someone who has delegates, you have to make sure that you're giving them their due credit. And just generally speaking as well, when you're working in a team, you don't want to intentionally ever say that you are responsible for a work done by someone else because it's very off-putting for the person who's done the work, and I just think that it's wrong. So intentionally stealing someone's credit is something that I want to avoid at all costs. I want to make sure that it never happens in my life. So make sure that you're giving credit where credit is due. You're ensuring that the person who actually worked very hard to get that work done is getting that credit, and he or she continues doing the good work that he or she's already been doing all this while. So there you have it, guys. Those are the four unshakable principles of my life that I'm always looking at when I'm lost or when I need a sense of direction, essentially. it's the moral compass which helps me go about living my life, and I'm very proud of it. These four principles are something, like I've said at the beginning of this video, they're very close to my heart, and it's something that I follow right to the T. There are no exceptions to this rule. Usually I'm one of those people who usually talks about how economics and laws always have exceptions, but this specific principle, this specific law has no exception. I look to follow it right to the T. No exceptions, no deviations from the path. Having said all of this, what I would really love is to know what your guiding principles are. In case you haven't consciously thought about it, I would strongly urge you to do so, because I think it's very important to consciously be aware of what your principles are and of what your unshakable principles are, something that you don't deter from no matter what happens in your life. I think it's very, very critical for everyone to have these sort of principles. So, in case you haven't thought of it already, I think you should, and let me know what. And after having done that, it would really be great. It would really be amazing for me to know what your unshakable principles are. In case you already know what your principles are, please leave them down in the comment section below. Of course, if you're comfortable with it. But I just feel like sharing each other's principles will really help us understand who we are as people better, because it's our core values and our morals which really, it's because I strongly believe that it's our core values and moral compass which really define our overall character, and very important, and it's very important to assess how you are as a human being. So if you guys are comfortable with it, do leave it down in the comment section below. I would love to know what your unshakable principles are. And again, like I said, if you're new here, make sure that you subscribe, switch on bell notifications, leave me one of these, and let me know what kind of videos you would like me to make in the comment section below. I've been focusing a little bit more on personal experiences, but if you want me to make a video specifically on academic or professional experiences, I can do that as well. That's what this channel is about. So let me know what you guys think about the channel so far. And also, another very important thing that I wanted to talk about is the importance of sharing these videos and the channel. We are going strong at 36 subscribers, but I'm really looking to hit the first milestone of 100 subscribers soon. So if you like the content, of course, please make sure that you share it with family, friends, whoever you can, whoever you can think of. And that would really help the channel, make me really happy as well. And yeah, that's about it. I hope you guys had a good time. Take care. Until next time. Uh, I hope you guys had a good time, or make sure. And today I thought it might be a good idea for me to focus solely and purely on my post, which I can credit to moving